All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The Best Loser here once again. And today is Thursday, the 15th of January, 2026. And well, obviously, this is another video where I'll be walking you guys through a live trade that I took. Actually, I think was it day before yesterday, but it actually closed yesterday. All right. So this is the setup that I'm talking about. This one right here. Okay. I'll be walking you guys through the long trade that I took in US dollar Swiss francs. All right, off of the 4 hours time frame. All right. Okay. So without any further delays, guys, let's get a look at the setup and see the reason why I took this trade. Okay. All right. So as you guys can see, obviously this is US dollar Swiss francs 4 hours time frame. This market has been making higher highs and higher lows, all right, on its way to the upside, which is obviously indicative of an uptrend. Okay. And I think the market's actually closed somewhere right around here for last week. And in the weekly Forex forecast video, I told you guys that, well, I would like to see this market give me a pullback, okay, into this particular demand zone area that we have around here. All right, keeping an eye at let's say 0.7950 institutional price level, right? And obviously the reason why I was keeping an eye at that particular level is because if you pay attention, you will notice that well, this is the demand zone that led to the break of this level of structure, and this one pretty much the demand zone from where this push to the upside started. So my expectation was that, well, this market is going to give me a pullback into this particular demand zone, and then from here this market can easily start going back to the upside. That is the reason why I mapped out this particular demand zone. All right, it became a demand zone of interest for me, and well, the markets opened, and obviously the market started to give us a push to the downside, and you can see we literally tapped that particular demand zone right around here. Okay, and well, obviously I placed my alert a few pips above this particular demand zone so that I will get an idea of when the market gets to this level. So alert goes off, and now it's time to zoom into the smaller time frame to see if we can get a trading opportunity. Okay, because again, I don't just go ahead and place a buy order here and expect that the market will take off. Okay, I have not been profitable doing that, so that's not how I trade. What I do is once the market gets to the demand zone area, then I zoom into a smaller time frame to read price action and see if I'm going to be getting an opportunity to take that trade off of that bounce from the demand zone area. Okay, that is pretty much what I do in a nutshell. So in this case, we can take a look at the 15 minutes time frame. All right, so this is where the market got into this particular demand zone area, right? This is where we got that tap, and if you pay attention, you can see that obviously in the retracement, the market was forming lower high, all right, and lower low, okay, which is obviously what you want to see since you're looking to go bullish, right? You want to see that change in pretty much the character of this particular market. You can see the markets gave us a very solid push to the downside. We got this pullback, okay, almost like price ran into this particular supply zone that we have in here, and then from there we got another push to the downside and even another push to the downside, right? So in this particular case, the market steps into the demand zone, the buyers start to protect this level, and you can see we got that push to the upside. However, if you read price action, you notice that, well, we do have this supply zone in here, all right, that led to the break of this level of structure. So, well, it's not surprising that when the market dipped into that supply zone, the BA started to protect that level, and then we got another push to the downside. But if you continue to read price action, you notice that, well, that push to the downside didn't even take off this low that we have in this area, and then the bulls came back again in momentum, right? And well, again, that supply zone continues to hold, all right, and we got another push to the downside. But again, pay attention, it didn't quite take off this low. So slowly the market is now forming higher lows, all right, even though we are not necessarily forming higher highs, even though this supply zone is still protecting this supply zone is still being protected. We are now forming higher lows, and well, the market gave us another push to the upside, and then from here you can notice that we got another push in, and from there we got another push to the downside. And if you pay attention again, this is still higher than this particular one. So the market is now pretty much forming higher lows, even though we are not getting any clear break of this particular supply zone area. So in my own opinion, when the market started to give us this push to the upside, I just waited for, I think I waited for this market to give me this pullback right around here to get my 2-to-1, and then this is where I got in long. If I wanted to place an aggressive stop loss, I could have easily placed it here with the understanding that, well, since the market is now forming higher lows, chances are that this low will not be taken out, right? But personally, I like to just be conservative with my stop loss, and I just place it, below these lows right here. This was my entry, and my target in this case, I think, was around 0.8013. All right. Just to be accurate, let me take a look at the Discord channel and see. All right, so as you can see here, I bought at 0.7974, stop loss at 0.7955, and my take profit was 0.8014. All right, and again, this is just an opportunity for you guys who are interested in joining my Discord. The link is going to be in the description as well. All right, so feel free to join. All right, there's no cost to it, at least at this point. Okay, all right, so that's it. So that was the call. I posted it on my Discord channel. You can see the time, 11:30 p.m. All right, so enough of that. So let's go back into the chart. So I got in long somewhere around here, around 0.7974, right around here. This was my entry for this particular position, and my stop loss, like I told you guys, was just a couple of pips below this low, I think somewhere around here, and my target was 0.8014. right here. Okay, as you guys know, I like to take my profits a couple of pips before hitting the previous swing high, which is why I placed my take profit targets at this point. This is a 2-to-1 position. As you can see, this is 2-to-1, and this is the position right here. Okay, and you can see this one got towards this particular area and profit target was hit. Again, the focus in this is not just to show you guys that this was a winning trade. There will be times I'm going to be showing you guys my losing positions as well, but I just wanted to walk you guys through this trade. Okay, it's been a good trading week for me personally, and I just wanted you guys to get an idea of the rationale behind these trades. Okay, so just to kind of wrap things up, the thing here is I wait for the markets. Obviously, I wait for a trending markets. All right. As you can see here, like I explained earlier in the 4 hours time frame, I wait for the markets to trend. You can see here we're forming higher highs and higher lows. All right, which is obviously indicative of an uptrend. Okay, that is an indication that the bulls are in these markets. Okay, and then obviously as the market is moving in an uptrend and we are pushing to the upside, breaking levels of structure to the upside, as you can see here, demand zones begin to form on our chart. Okay, for example, just to kind of show you guys what I mean, right? Notice how obviously the market gave us a break of this level of structure to the upside. We formed this particular demand zone. Well, in this case, the market didn't get to the demand zone, right? And we took off to the upside, broke this level of structure, creating this demand zone again. In this case, the markets got into this demand zone, we got the reversal, and this would have been a nice trading opportunity, right? And now what happens? Well, this becomes another level of structure in our charts. We hesitate, break it to the upside, creating this demand zone. Now, again, we wait for the markets to get back into this particular demand zone. And then that is all I do. I wait for the turnaround in markets and, for an opportunity to ride it back to the upside. That is pretty much how I approach the markets. Okay. And this is, the setup that I just explained to you right now. So wait for the markets to trend. All right, identify a trending market, wait for markets to pull back into your demand and supply zones, depending on whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend. And then once you're able to identify that, the next thing you do, you start zooming into smaller time frames. Okay, you can zoom into minute 15, you can zoom into minute 5, wherever you can read price action better. In this case, the price action was quite clear in the 15 minutes time frame. All right, and that was why I was able to just focus on the 15 minutes time frame, read price action, see how the market is behaving, and then I got into these particular markets accordingly. Now, in all honesty, I would say that this is quite an aggressive entry, all right, because again, if you plot this particular supply zone area, all right, you notice that, well, but the market had not yet broken off of that particular supply zone. But the reason why I got in on this market is because I'm reading price action and I'm seeing how the market is behaving. Even though we are yet to break above this particular supply zone, you can see that, well, we are now forming higher lows and the market is not pushing lower than the previous swing. So in my own opinion, that was an indication that, well, the bulls are in this market and it's just a matter of time for this supply zone to give way, for the markets to give us another push to the upside. Okay. And then when this market gave me a tick above above these particular highs that we have in this area. That was why I waited, I got in around here. Now, the conservative entry would have been to wait for this particular supply zone to give way. As you can see here, well, the markets gave us this break around here. This spike you see here is the CPI release. You can see that's 8:30 a.m. All right, this was the CPI release earlier this week from the United States axis. So what happens after that break? That is now a confirmation that, well, the bulls are in this market, and you notice that the markets pretty much gave us a spike into this particular breakout area. Okay, this area that we have, one second, this area that we have around here, that is pretty much what we have. The markets gave us a spike into that area, into 0.7975 quarter level, and then from there you can see the bulls now came in momentum to the upside. Okay, so this would have been the conservative entry for this particular setup, and what I did was pretty much aggressive, in all honesty. Okay, so I just wanted to walk you guys through this particular setup. Hopefully you gained some value from this particular video, guys, and if you did, please do not forget to click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone who you think is going to benefit from it. All right, guys, cheers, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.